Right now, in your pocket or in your hand, you are holding a supercomputer. The smartphone you use every day is more powerful than the machines that guided Apollo to the moon. And right now, three of the largest and most powerful companies on the planet are in a silent, escalating war to control what that supercomputer does with artificial intelligence. You probably have not noticed this war. It does not generate the splashy headlines of a new ChatGPT release or a billion-dollar funding round. It plays out in chip architecture decisions made years in advance, in quiet software acquisitions, in carefully worded announcements at developer conferences that most people do not watch. But this war might be the most important AI battle of the next decade, because whoever controls the AI on your smartphone controls your most intimate and frequent relationship with technology. They influence how you communicate, how you work, how you navigate your physical and digital life. They know where you are, who you talk to, what you search for, what you care about. The battle for on-device AI is not just about features. It is about data ownership. It is about privacy philosophy. It is about who gets to be the gatekeeper between you and the most powerful technology ever created. And the outcome will directly affect over 5 billion smartphone users around the world. Let me break down the three major contenders, their strategies, their strengths and weaknesses, and why this battle is much more interesting and consequential than the cloud AI wars everyone is watching. Apple fired the defining shot in June 2024 at their Worldwide Developers Conference with the announcement of Apple Intelligence. It was classic Apple strategy. They were not first. They waited, they watched their competitors rush to market with half-baked AI features, and then they redefined the entire conversation on their own terms. Apple Intelligence is not a single application or a chatbot. It is a layer of artificial intelligence integrated throughout the entire operating system. It summarizes your notifications so you see what actually matters. It rewrites your emails and messages in different tones. It generates images and emoji in your conversations. It finds specific photos from vague descriptions. It prioritizes what demands your attention. The technical philosophy behind Apple Intelligence is fundamentally different from competitors. Apple AI models are designed and optimized to run entirely on-device on their custom silicon. When you ask Siri to find a photo from last summer trip, crop it, and send it to your mom, the AI processes your request, understands the context of trip and summer, searches your photo library, performs the edit, and composes the message all on your device. Your photos never leave your phone. Your messages never leave your phone. Your personal context never goes to a server in a data center owned by Apple or anyone else. The privacy guarantee is not a marketing claim. It is an architectural property. When processing happens locally, there is nothing to collect. Apple can make this architectural choice because they control the entire technology stack. They design their own processors, specifically the A-series chips with dedicated neural engines that have been shipping since the iPhone 8 in 2017. They write their own operating system. They build their own AI models, optimized specifically for their hardware. This vertical integration is Apple's unique superpower in the AI race. When you control the silicon, the operating system, and the AI models, you can optimize at every level simultaneously. Apple efficiency per watt for AI inference is significantly better than any competitor because they are not using general-purpose hardware running general-purpose models. But Apple Intelligence has a catch, and it is a big one. The most advanced features require the latest hardware. You need an iPhone 15 Pro or later, or an M-series iPad or Mac. Hundreds of millions of existing Apple devices simply cannot run the full Apple Intelligence experience due to hardware limitations. primarily in RAM and neural engine capability. This creates a powerful upgrade incentive that Apple has used multiple times before. If you want the AI features, you need a new phone. It is the strategy that drove the Siri upgrade cycle, the Face ID upgrade cycle, the camera upgrade cycle, and it works every single time. For more complex AI tasks that exceed on-device capabilities, Apple has introduced private cloud compute. When your device determines that a request requires more processing power, it sends an anonymized encrypted request to Apple servers running on custom Apple silicon with verifiable privacy guarantees. The server processes the request and the data is not retained. Apple's position is clear. AI should be personal, private, and seamlessly integrated into your existing experience. Not a separate app, not a separate service, not something you have to go to, something that comes to you when you need it. Now let us talk about Google, whose strategy is fundamentally and philosophically different. Google's approach is cloud-first, with expanding on-device capabilities, and it is built on their absolute dominance in AI research and their unparalleled data infrastructure. Google has been building AI into Android for over a decade. Features like predictive text, voice recognition, and computational photography have been AI-powered for years, but the generative AI era has allowed Google to leap forward dramatically. The centerpiece of Google on-device strategy is Gemini Nano, a lightweight version of their Gemini AI model designed to run on smartphone hardware. It handles basic tasks like smart replies, text summarization, and simple queries locally. For anything more complex, it seamlessly escalates to Google Cloud infrastructure running the full Gemini model. This hybrid architecture gives Google a massive capability advantage. Google Cloud-based models are orders of magnitude larger and more capable than anything that can fit on a smartphone chip. They have access to real-time information. They can perform complex multi-step reasoning. They can generate video and high-fidelity images. The trade-off Google asks users to make is straightforward. You give Google access to your data, and Google gives you capabilities that on-device AI simply cannot match. This is the same trade-off that Google has been asking users to make for 20 years with Search, Gmail, Maps, Photos, and it has historically been a winning strategy. Google also has the Pixel hardware line, which has evolved into a showcase for what Android AI can achieve. The Pixel is not a high-volume product. Apple sells more iPhones in a single weekend than Google sells Pixels in a year. But it serves a strategic purpose that is more important than volume. Features debut on Pixel first. The technology is proven, refined, and debugged in the real world on Google-owned hardware. Then the most successful features are pushed to the broader Android ecosystem through Google Mobile Services licensing agreements and the Android Open Source Project. Call Screen is the canonical example. It launched on Pixel in 2018, using AI to answer incoming calls, transcribe the caller message, and let you decide whether to pick up. It was magical. Over subsequent years, it spread to Samsung devices and other Android phones through licensing agreements. Pixel is Google AI laboratory that ships to consumers. Google's latest Pixel devices feature the Tensor chip, designed in collaboration with Samsung, with specific AI acceleration capabilities. The Tensor processing unit on these devices is optimized for Google AI models, enabling on-device capabilities that generic Qualcomm chips cannot match. Then there is Samsung, the third contender, and the one that analysts consistently underestimate. Samsung sells more smartphones than any other company on Earth. Over 220 million Galaxy devices annually. They command the largest installed base in the smartphone market, and that installed base gives them enormous strategic leverage. Samsung Galaxy AI launched alongside the Galaxy S24 series in January 2024 and immediately differentiated itself with features that are genuinely practical. Live Translate during phone calls in real time, supporting 13 languages at launch. Generative photo editing that lets you move, remove, or resize objects in photos with natural results. Note Assist that summarizes, formats, and translates your handwritten notes. The features are thoughtfully designed around actual user needs rather than technical demonstrations. That reflects Samsung's strength. They are closer to their users than either Apple or Google. They sell phones at every price point in virtually every country. They understand what hundreds of millions of diverse users actually want. But Samsung is in an extraordinarily complex strategic position. Their phones run Android with Google Mobile Services. Their chips are designed in collaboration with Qualcomm and AMD, with some models using their own Exynos processors. They sit at the intersection of multiple AI strategies and ecosystems and must navigate relationships with all of them simultaneously. Samsung cannot simply adopt Google AI strategy wholesale because that would make Galaxy devices indistinguishable from every other Android phone. They must differentiate. They must offer something that makes a Samsung phone worth choosing over a Pixel or any other Android device. Samsung Answer is a combination of unique hardware and software capabilities. The S Pen on Galaxy Ultra devices enables AI features that no one else can offer. AI-powered handwriting recognition, sketch-to-image conversion, and note intelligence are features that leverage a hardware differentiator. Samsung foldable displays create another unique canvas for AI features. Multitasking AI across dual screens, AI-powered content adaptation for flexible displays, AI that understands the physical state of your device. These are capabilities that only Samsung can deliver because only Samsung sells foldable phones at scale. Samsung also offers users a genuine choice between on-device and cloud processing for most AI features, with clear privacy toggles. Want maximum privacy and acceptable results? Enable on-device only. Want maximum capability and are willing to share data with Samsung and Google servers? Enable cloud processing. This pragmatic approach acknowledges that different users have different priorities. Now here is where this gets strategically fascinating. All three companies are converging on different versions of the same vision, an intelligent assistant deeply integrated into the device experience. But they are approaching it from completely different philosophical starting points. Apple Vision is the private companion, an AI that knows everything about you because it lives on your device, has access to your data, and never shares it, sacrificing maximum capability for maximum trust. The assistant that respects your secrets. Google Vision is the omniscient assistant, an AI that knows everything, period. It draws on the sum total of human knowledge indexed by Google Search, the largest AI models running on the largest compute infrastructure and real-time access to the entire web. The assistant that can answer anything. Samsung Vision is the universal assistant, an AI that works across every device, every service, every ecosystem. A Samsung phone, a Samsung TV, a Samsung refrigerator, a Samsung laptop. The assistant that follows you everywhere, regardless of which company software you are using. Each vision has profound strengths and structural weaknesses. Apple is private, but its AI is less capable for complex tasks that require cloud-scale compute. Google is unbelievably capable, but its business model is fundamentally based on collecting and monetizing user data. Samsung is flexible and ubiquitous, but lacks the software integration depth of Apple or the AI research depth of Google. The market will ultimately decide which philosophy consumers prefer. And that market decision is happening right now, through billions of individual choices about which phone to buy, which AI features to enable, which privacy settings to select. But there is a wild card in this three-way battle that could upend everything: open source on-device AI. Meta Llama models are now small enough and efficient enough to run on flagship smartphones. Developers are building AI applications that do not depend on Apple, Google, or Samsung AI infrastructure at all. This could be genuinely disruptive. If a developer in Vietnam can build an AI assistant that runs on any Android phone using an open-source model and distribute it through the Play Store, the AI assistant becomes decoupled from the device manufacturer. It becomes just another app. This is the nightmare scenario for all three platform owners. If AI assistants become interchangeable apps, the platform loses its AI lock-in and AI becomes commoditized. The three companies are all investing heavily in system-level AI integration that third-party apps cannot replicate precisely to prevent this outcome. Siri has access to APIs that third-party apps cannot access. Google Assistant is integrated at the Android framework level. Samsung Galaxy AI leverages hardware, features that generic apps cannot tap into. The platform owners are building moats, and those moats are getting deeper. Apple Moat is the hardware-software integration that enables on-device AI with privacy. Google Moat is the cloud infrastructure that enables AI capabilities that on-device cannot match. Samsung Moat is the device ecosystem breadth, from phones to TVs to appliances, that makes their AI the most broadly available. The winner of this battle will not be determined by who has the best AI model in the abstract. It will be determined by who delivers the most useful, trustworthy, and integrated AI experience to the most users. And that is a fundamentally different competition than the cloud AI race. The on-device AI war is also fundamentally about timing. Apple, Google, and Samsung all know that user habits formed over the next 2 to 3 years will persist for a decade. The AI assistant you learn to trust and rely on is the one you will keep using. Switching costs will increase dramatically as AI becomes more deeply integrated into the user experience. This is why Apple invested so heavily in Apple Intelligence before the technology was fully mature. This is why Google is pushing Gemini Nano to every Android device they can. This is why Samsung made SaaS Galaxy AI free through 2025 and then will likely start charging. They are all racing to establish user habits before their competitors do. The battle for your phone is not really about the phone. The phone is just the beachhead. The real prize is the personal AI that lives with you, learns from you, anticipates your needs, and mediates your relationship with the digital world. Whoever owns that relationship owns the most valuable real estate in the technology industry. And unlike the search engine wars, or the social media wars, or the mobile operating system wars, this one is happening right now, and the outcome is not clear. The three-way battle between Apple privacy-focused approach, Google capability-first approach, and Samsung hardware-driven approach is genuinely competitive. If you want to understand the technology industry over the next 5 to 10 years, stop watching what happens in data centers and research labs. Watch what happens on smartphones. Watch the quarterly earnings calls. Watch the developer conferences. Watch the feature updates. That is where the future of AI is actually being determined. That is the story of the AI arms race inside your smartphone. A battle you probably did not know was happening. But now you do. And you will never look at your phone the same way. If this kind of strategic technology analysis is what you are looking for, subscribe and hit the notification bell. We do deep dives every week on the AI stories that actually affect your life. Next week, we are investigating something even more mind-bending. A growing number of researchers are making a claim that sounds like science fiction. that the latest AI models show something resembling consciousness. We will examine the evidence and the fierce debates splitting the AI community. In the comments, tell me which approach to phone AI you prefer: Apple privacy, Google power, or Samsung flexibility? Or do you think open source will win? I want to hear your reasoning. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, and I will see you in the next one.